The world is looking at organic as the future. India went the hybrid and pesticide route in the 1960s to feed its growing population. But today, as the world turns away from it, India is still making a slow turn back. It is revisiting that phase where it's trying to understand the farming methods that were an intrinsic part of its ethos. Organic farming is a production system which largely excludes or avoids the use of fertilizers, pesticides, and growth regulators. It relies mainly on organic sources to maintain soil health, supply plant nutrients, and minimize insects, weeds, and other pests. It is gaining a lot of importance in the present-day agriculture system as it is based on production standards which are environmentally supportive and are socially, economically, and ecologically sustainable. It promises to safeguard biodiversity. But this is still in a nascent stage in India. According to the Union Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare, 2.78 million hectares of farmland was under cultivation as of March 2020. This is merely 2% of the 140.1 million hectare net sown area in the country. With brand new learning and scientific tools today, we are capable of learning how organic re-emerges in India. GoPlow Farms is one of the companies who are on the cutting edge of it. They are deeply connected with the idea of growing everything without any chemicals. They are forming a community of farmers in Delhi NCR region who are motivated by this idea of chemical-free farming. GoPlow Farms are helping them get their due, which they fail to get when they approach the markets with their products. It is reaching out to consumers who are looking for some trustworthy source of such products. It delivers chemical-free fruits and vegetables on their doorstep. There are many such initiatives across India. The government needs to get involved in subsidizing soil health rather than subsidizing fertilizers that will continue to destroy the ecosystem. Richa Surot Dalal, Democracy News Live, New Delhi.
Organic food, something that the world is consuming today. Everybody talks about organic wherever in the world you go. Beyond organic, they're even talking about vegan food, which is becoming a big trend. First of all, let's recognize where India stands. India made a huge transition to feeding its people going through the Green Revolution, 60s, 70s, saw a heavy use of pesticides and fertilizers and growing the crops we need. But then there came a time that there is enough food. Now, equitable distribution of food, maybe not there, but there is food for people to eat. But that's when the world realized that excessive use of pesticides and fertilizers is like consuming poison. And that's not the journey you want to take. You want to take a journey which is great for your health. It may fill your stomach, but it must still benefit your health and not destroy it. A large part of your cancer is attributed to consuming food, consuming water, which is laced with pesticides. And that is a recognition which widely exists. Scientists talk about it. Where people who analyze vegetables talk about it. Growers talk about it. Consumers talk about it. So let's first listen in to some of the producers and some of the consumers of these organic vegetables. And then we'll come back to, going ahead with the guests of the show today.
बी फार्मेसी करने के बाद ऑर्गेनिक खेती में लगा हूँ। मैं खेती तथा दवाइयों की खेती भी बीच बीच में करता हूँ, जिससे कि खेती की गुणवत्ता को ज़्यादा उचित बढ़ाया जा सके।
जहरीले खान पान के कारण आई बीमारियों को रोकने के लिए और गौ माता को एक उचित दर्जा मिले, एक गौ माता का स्थान खेती में महत्वपूर्ण बने, उसके लिए जैविक खेती मैंने शुरू की।
बीमारियों को देखते हुए आजकल लोग बहुत ज़्यादा बीमार हो रहे हैं। वो केवल केमिकल सब्जी के कारण है, केमिकल अनाज के कारण है। इस कारण से हमने ऑर्गेनिक वेजिटेबल्स का काम लिया है, जिसमें हमने बिना खाद बीज दवाई की, बिना केमिकल की सब्जी है, जैसे गाजर है, धनिया है, पालक है, पपीते के कुछ प्लांट्स लगाए हुए हैं, पालक है, मटर है और आलू है। ऐसी बहुत सारी सब्जियां हैं जो हमारे पास बिना केमिकल की हैं।
आजकल बहुत ही बीमारियां चल रही हैं, पैरालाइज होना है, अटैक होना है। यूरिया, डीएपी आदि से बचकर एक गाय के गोबर से और गाय के गौमूत्र से दवाइयाँ बनाकर, खाद बनाकर जो हम अपने खेतों में डाल रहे हैं वो बहुत ही अच्छा है।
I have been very apprehensive about the vegetable that I buy from the market. Their storing, packaging, fertilizer, insecticides used in them have been a very big question mark to what I am feeding my family. So when I came to know about GoPlo, that they are producing farm fresh vegetables, chemical free vegetables, and directly supplying it to the house, it was an opportunity that I grabbed.
Why I switched to organic vegetables from the vegetables available in open market. When we talk about purity, things that comes in our mind, foods and vegetables, especially vegetables, because vegetables are the essential part of our kitchen's daily need. Regular consumption of such type of vegetable is causing the serious health issues, and health expert also insisting to consume the organic vegetables only, because the chemical vegetables are causing the serious health issues.
It was almost 7 years ago. We decided to switch to organic food, pest-free vegetables, because we thought it is a healthier option. And once we started using it, we found it to be much tastier, and of course, it's nourishing.
Joining us today for having this discussion around organic food and what it takes to grow it, and what it takes to distribute it. We're joined by Dr. JPS Dabas. He's the principal scientist and in charge at IARI and CATAT. He specializes both on biogas as well as organic farming. Also joining us is Samrat Singh Chauhan. He's the founder of GoPlo. He's a former IIT Kharagpur alumni, and he now runs a organic producing and distribution setup in and around Delhi. That's the national capital region. Also joining us is Dr. Naveen Dutt. He's an MD in pulmonary medicine. He joins us from AIIMS Jodhpur. Also joining us is Manjeet Singh. He's a senior consultant at AGSS Labs Private Limited. Now, they basically take food and analyze what its contents are, and they have a system of figuring out whether the food's organic or not. Also joining us is Ravi Saxena. He's an MD at Uniglobe MKOV Travel. He's an organic consumer. I was talking to him earlier before we joined us on the show, and he told us that his mother was affected by cancer, and he will give us a little sense of why he consumes this. So let me start the show with Mr. Dabas. Mr. Dabas, you're a principal scientist, and you kind of have dealt with organic food. Explain to us, why should I consume organic food, or why should the world consume organic food?
Actually, when we are talking about farming, in farming everything comes with vegetable. It is you can say pulses, cereals, fruits, and all those things. Now, whatever we are consuming for our health purpose. And through through this food, we are getting all the nutrients, and we are doing all activity through these nutrients only. But when there's something is contaminated with something, then instead of helping us or helping or benefiting us, it may cause some harm to our health, and we are not getting the enough nutrient also. Moreover, actually, when farmers are using too much excessive chemical, actually all the farmer doesn't use excessive chemicals, but few farmer and few pockets they are using excessive chemicals, and when they are using these particular vegetables without cooking in salad also, then they cause more harm to our health than giving any benefit. So whenever we are talking about organic farming we are doing because we want to have good health, we want to avoid diseases, we want to have good resistance power, and we want to get some good nutrients also. So that's why we are thinking about organic farming. As a farmer, I'm using all the vegetables, flowers, cereals, pulses, and all those things, but he's not getting good price for his produce. And whenever in the market he want to sell his produce, nobody thinks what the farmer have used. Everybody, every consumer, he want to see the beautifulness or the shape of this fruit or vegetable, shape, size, and luster of this thing. And whenever somebody is seeing only these things, then he may get more harm because these vegetables which are very beautiful, looking very white or very green, they may have been due to some use of some chemical. So we have to think about what we are eating. We have to choose only the natural product. It may be vegetable, it may be fruits, it may be other things. And when we are consuming all these things, they will help us and they will build our resistance power. And even today in this Corona time also,
Sure.
those people who are using organic foods, they are much better. They are combating this disease in a much better way, and now they are healthy and they are not afraid of this corona. You can go in
Sure.
all the rural areas. Farmers not
Sure.
facing this particular trouble. This trouble is more
Dr.
in cities
Dr.
and towns.
Dabbas, yeah, I think you're raising a very important point, and I think I want to kind of stop you there. Uh, One of the biggest things to fight any of these viruses going around is immunity. And if by consuming organic food and by consuming quality food, nutritious food, your immunity goes higher, obviously there are other things like stress and sleep and all of that which contribute to it. But obviously food is an important part of it. And if organic food is going to contribute to that immunity level, then certainly it's something which we seriously must look at. Dr. Naveen, let me bring you in to weigh into this. Uh, would you advise your patients, would you advise people to go for organic, or do you think it makes no difference at all?
So I have two perspectives regarding this, one as a consumer and second as a doctor. So I'll give you some glimpse of both the things. So as a doctor, so basically I'm a pulmonologist. I deal with the respiratory ailments like asthma, tuberculosis, lung cancer. So if you talk about cancer specifically, so a big chunk of cancer patients, they come from places where there is high consumption of the chemical grown food. So especially if we
Interesting.
look at the northern part of India, Punjab specifically, Haryana. So in the belts where these chemicals they are used in higher amounts, we see more number of cancer patients. And there is one particular train which comes from Punjab to Rajasthan to Bikaner because there is an old cancer center in the Bikaner. That train is known as cancer train. There are so many people coming from Punjab to Bikaner for the treatment of cancer that it is known as a cancer train. So definitely there is a huge link between the consumption of chemical and the disease, especially the cancers. And I would want to add one more thing. For cancer, we have evidence, but if we will after 10 or 20 years, we'll find out that a large number of diseases they have some or the mild, moderate, or the severe association with the consumption of chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, and all.
Interesting. So, what you're saying is that as a doctor, you have seen evidence uh, based on usage of chemicals and pesticides.
True.
But as a consumer, do you consume organic food?
I think for last 1 year, so I'm living in Jodhpur, and the vegetables come from the Samrat's farm. So it's altogether a story which can be told in some other platform. So
Sure.
we somehow try to manage every week, every fortnight. It's a big challenge, but somehow we are trying to manage it.
All right. Well, possibly good time to bring in Samrat. Samrat, can you weigh in? You're an engineer. What made you go for organic farming? People will look at you and say, this is not what you were trained for.
Right. So Rohit, that's again a story. Actually, there were a lot of diseases that came in. My father-in-law, my sister's father-in-law, both got diagnosed with prostate cancer within a span of 1 month. And I come from a farming family, though all through I have been outside India working for corporates, trained as an engineer. But this was the food is one of the reasons that I see when I visit our farms. When I used to visit our farms, the kind of water that is used, the kind of pesticide, the way inadvertent use of pesticide and fertilizer that is happening, even on my land also it was happening. So something which I want did not want to do with my land, and some food which I didn't want to give my kids and my family. So that made me kind of take a decision, leaving the corporate side, leaving the all the kind of engineering side. I took up a decision around 3 years back to start doing farming, and organic farming, doing it in a natural way. It has been a very fulfilling journey, though there were a lot of hiccups initially, in production, in marketing the produce, in getting the produce in the right shape, like Dr. Dabas talked. But slowly, I mean, it has been a very fulfilling journey. I started doing farming on a 22-acre land patch, which is my own land patch. And slowly and steadily, people around started saying, and now we are a group of 15 farmers. We do chemical-free farming on a 60-acre land, and we market this product, all these chemical-free produce, to consumers in Delhi NCR. That's what we have been doing for some time now.
So, first of all, I want to talk a bit about this, because what happens is I've seen a lot of farmers do this in the area where I farm. They will take a small patch of land and they'll grow food for themselves and their family. And in the other parts, they will grow for selling. Now, the other parts, they're going to continue using the pesticide and the fertilizers. And in their part, they won't. They'll say, we'll get low produce, but we're going to use this for ourselves. Now, a lot of times, again, I raised this with them, is that when you use it on a small patch of land and the adjoining patch of land actually has pesticides being used, even with wind and all of that, it's going to fly over and, contaminate your farms. So it's not as if, it's only on the patches where you put the fertilizer or the pesticide is going to get impacted. Farms around are going to get impacted as well. So I think that's that's an issue that needs to be addressed properly in terms of how do you make sure that the contamination doesn't happen. Also, the contamination happens at the water table level, where for pesticides seep into the water table and then contaminate that whole water source. So very important things to kind of highlight and figure out as India also looks at organic farming in a much larger way. Right now, if we look at the numbers, there's only about 2% of the land which goes through organic farming. The rest of it is still open for pesticide farming. One, that, and two, the amount of testing that happens on the ground is negligible. There are many KVK Kendras. These are these Krishi Vigyan Kendras. Most of them, I've visited many of them. Labs don't work. They haven't worked for 6 years, 7 years. The lack of knowledge in these Krishi Vigyan Kendras is tremendous. I know Mr. Dabas is sitting at Pusa Institute, but honestly, the education that goes from the center to states and these small centers is negligible. The offices of all of these places are just profit centers, people making money out of these places. I've been to many of these and I've seen it happen in front of me. So the distribution of that knowledge base is so poor that there isn't a system around it. It continues to be a cash cow for politicians and bureaucrats to eat money. And a lot of these institutes just sit in as cash cows, sucking in money of the Indian population in the name of agriculture and actually not delivering much to the people. So let me bring in Manjeet. Manjeet, you are into testing, the produce that comes out and, how it unfolds. Can you tell me, do you see a difference when you get, a produce which is grown organically and not grown organically? What's the difference? How do you figure out this is an organic produce and this is not an organic produce?
Actually, organic produce is not only organic; it's the only whole system should be whole system should be certified by the certification organic agency, just like NPOP, National Program for Organic Production. So it should be whole process should be certified. When you test any organic foods, it will be chemical free, and non-organic you will find lots of chemical, insecticides, all these things. So the main difference is organic and non-organic food is the chemical. Organic food is chemical free and non-organic food is have chemicals, lots of chemicals.
No, but when you test, Manjeet, do you know this is organic and this is not organic, or is there no way for you to test? Because if you are banking on a large system called India's testing format, it can be highly corrupt. There will be there'll be a small little guy from some KVK Kendra who will land up and say, "Oh yeah, this has followed all the norms," and it actually will not have followed all the norms. They would have, done whatever they want to do with it. So, is there a way for you to test and say this is organic and this is not organic?
Yes, it's a way for test. There is a two main instruments for testing the chemicals, insecticide. Like one is LCMSMS, it's a liquefied chromatography, and second one is GCMSM, which is the gas chromatography. So both instruments are compulsory for need of all the chemicals testing. So if you have both the instruments and you have all the standards for testing, standards and validate method, so you can test. And if you have not these instruments and if you have not the standards of all these chemicals and insecticides, so you cannot test. So first thing is you have to both the instruments. Second thing is you have the all the standards for, because every pesticide residue has a different standard for testing, and you have to validate the method for every insecticide. So if you have all the things, then you can test, and if you have not, so might be
Just to give a viewers a sense, it costs about 8,000 rupees to test each vegetable each time, or for whether it's got any pesticide residue. So it's not a cheap process. So for a farmer, or for example, one of these organizations that needs to go and test their vegetable, they will take some vegetables. Sorry, now Manjeet, so you want to say something? Sorry, go ahead.
Actually, it's not the 8,000 fixed prices. It's the depends on the vegetables, fruits, and all these things, because APEDA and NPOP has set the different standards for different types of fruits and vegetables. And Food Safety Standards Authority of India also regulated for organic foods. So all the foods, all the vegetables, and all the fruits has the different standards. So different foods and different fruits and different vegetables has the different charges. Yes, if you will really analyze, if you will really test the product.
Manjeet, can you give me an average?
If you will really test the product, then it will be costly.
How costly is costly? Is it about 8,000? Is it about 20,000? Is it about 2,000?
Actually, it depends on the which insecticides you have to analysis on that vegetables or fruits, because some standards has the cost of 8,000 for 1 milliliter standard. Some has 20,000 for 1 ml. Some has 2,000 for 1 ml. Every insecticide standard has the different cost. And if you really test all the insecticides, then definitely they will cost.
So it's an expensive process. What our research showed, it was an expensive process to even figure out whether the vegetable actually has chemicals or not. So when you're So when you're actually going to an organization and you're going to pick up the vegetable, you can only have trust once it's tested. Just by the process and the method, you can't go with it because you don't know what they've used. So you have to be sure, which means they should have gone through some form of testing over the period of a few months. They will possibly take one vegetable each month and test it and show it to you that this is the produce we are picking up this month and this is the average. So over a period of time, they may have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars just in testing alone. And that's when you will get a sense whether these farms are organic or not, and it'll give you a sense of that. But trusting the process in itself, and that's where trust deficiency exists, and that's why organizations need to come up to kind of figure out, we follow the process, our water is not contaminated, and we will be able to deliver a solid process. Let me bring in Mr. Saxena. Mr. Saxena, your mother suffered from cancer. Explain to me your move from being somebody who was not using organic to being somebody who's using organic today.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me this chance, Rohit. In fact, when I got my mother admitted to Max Saket, and when I was those chemotherapies and all these things are going on, so I got a chance to speak to a lot of doctors and all these things, their panels there. So as per them, the main causing agent was the food, which is causing this cancer. So that very day I decided, we will go for organic food. And But honestly speaking, organic food is not very common in India. Very few people are doing this, and you cannot rely on what actually the people. A lot of people are selling organic food in the name of, this is bringing from that Ajapur Mandi, and this is selling at a price of organic food. But trust me, now we are getting the people like Samrat. I'm very, very happy that this guy is from that IIT and all. He's such a talented guy and who has entered into this business. So we started and that's how I started buying foods. Uh, as I mentioned earlier, also that these organic foods initially it doesn't look very attractive, or but it actually tastes very good. And the proper education is required for the people to move from the normal vegetables and all to organic food. If the proper education given to the people, like this is what are the actually benefits. So you can, I don't know whether we can control the cancer, but we can definitely reduce the numbers of cancer patients in India if we move towards organic foods.
So absolutely, immunity is certainly a key. Dr. Dabas, let me come back to you. Is there a process, is there a movement forward, Dr. Dabas, in making sure that the testing of food happens on district level, from region to region level, and the soil testing happens in advance for us to know the kind of product we're going to be able to produce? Can there be a ban put on farms which use excessive pesticide and create poison rather than food? Is there larger thinking around that idea?
And Rohitji, let me tell you three, four things. Number one, whatever we are producing, every food is organic or it is not less with chemicals. One. Number two, hardly 25 or 22% food may be contaminated. Maybe, I will use the word maybe. And thirdly, I will say there are three things. One is organic food, one is safe food, and one is organic good practices, GAP, good agricultural practices. So these are three, four things which when we are talking about organic, we used to talk all those things. When we are talking about organic food, all the farmers are producing organic food. But the quantity of food was so less that we have to go for this inorganic method we have to adopt, and we increase our production. Now food is available in plenty. But when we are talking about using chemicals, actually when the consumer he want in off season is vegetable in winter season, summer vegetable in winter season, or winter vegetable in summer season, then the chances of contamination is more. When we are growing the season, the crop before season or after season, then the insect population or disease population is more. To manage that particular thing, the farmer have to use so much chemicals. So first, the consumer have to understand we should not think summer vegetable in winter season, and we should not think about winter vegetable in summer season. Number one. Number two, when we are talking about testing, when we are testing the soil, we are not testing the soil for chemicals. We are testing the soil for the how much is the pH, how much is the organic content, and how much are the nutrients for the basis of nutrients. So on the soil test basis, we can't say this is organic or this is inorganic. Number one. Number two, the organic food testing lab are very less in our country. They're not at district level. They're not even at state level. In some there may be two labs. In some states there may not be even single lab. Number two, the government also picks up so much vegetables and used to test this pesticide residue. And we have in Pusai one laboratory, and they are testing the pesticide residue. We are picking a vegetable from Azadpur Mandi and also in other markets also. And we used to test and report to the government of India what is the position. So every vegetable, hardly 20% vegetable, less than 20% vegetable may have some contamination. But contamination also matters the quantity of contamination. When we are using the chemicals, agrochemicals, as per the direction mentioned on those chemicals, the harmful effect will be much less. There will not be much harmful effect. But when our illiterate farmer, he uses so much chemical, they are required or they are not required. But he uses. Why he is using? Because he used to consult only the shopkeeper. And shopkeeper want to sell more and more agrochemicals so that he can get more and more profit. He maybe needed one chemical, but he used to give him 3-4 chemicals and charge him the money. Now farmers no time farmer used to tell about the packet maybe having some indications how he have to use. The indication may be that he have to use 1 ml per liter of water. But farmer think with 1 ml in 1 liter of water will not save his crop. So several times he uses 3 ml, 4 ml, 5 ml per liter of water. The quantity is more. So when we are using such type of chemicals, then they are very harmful to our body also. And there were some crops, just like cotton. In cotton in Punjab, there were farmer was spraying 36 times in one crop season about 20 years back, but not today. So the chemical residue there was too much. And now when our doctor was talking about the Cancer Express train, the Cancer Express train runs from Punjab to Bikaner from the same region where cotton was grown in a larger area. So most of the farmer, actually innocent farmer are there, and very few farmer are having two type of growing season. He's growing the food crop for himself and not for the consumer. But most of the farmer they are producing for consumer also. Very few farmer who are using too much chemical and they are not using his own produce. There are very few farmers. But I will certainly agree, organic farming is very essential. And when we are talking about the taste and quality of the food, it depends upon the nutrients which we are using. A plant used to need a plant 6 to 17 elements for his good growth. So farmer are giving only one or two chemicals, these elements. So then the our vegetable or fruits may be lacking in other element. So when they are lacking, the taste is not that much good. And secondly, when we are using what type of seed we are using, when we are going for hybrid seed, we are using hybrid seeds. In hybrid seed, the yield is more. When yield is more, the taste is not that much good. The quality is not that much good. So I certainly agree. And most of the Krishi Vigyan Kendra which we are talking, the Krishi Vigyan Kendra are supposed to guide the farmer how to grow crops. They are not for testing this residue because they are testing the soil only for the plant, what plant need and how much nutrients are there in the soil and how much nutrient farmer should give to this crop for getting a good yield and good quality. So that they are guiding him, but they can't guide him which chemical is excess, which chemical is less, and this organic movement. I certainly agree with my earlier colleagues. Some farmer, almost about 80% of the produce being sold in the name of organic is not organic. Only 20% I can agree because some farmers are very religiously following all the organic practices. They might be getting tested or not, but their produce is very good and they are getting good price also. And consumer, whosoever taste their produce, he want to purchase from them even on a higher price also. So when we are talking about organic farming in India, we have a huge potential because we have good number of animals, we have good number of human beings, and all the waste generated from animal and human being, if we put in biogas plant and use the chemical that manure which we are getting from the pure organic, and when we are growing the crop will be much healthier, much better, quality will be much better, and farmer will need very little amount of chemical. He may or may not need even chemicals if we are using as per the season. But when we are growing pre-season or post-season, then farmer have to use
Sure.
chemicals.
Sure. I think, you made some very good points. First of all, we have to remember that there are about 20% vegetables that you get in the market which are contaminated. So it's a number that everybody needs to be worried about. You don't know if you're getting it or somebody else is getting it, which means the government at some way is responsible for letting these vegetables seep into the market, obviously reducing immunity, causing diseases, ability of your getting more diseases. Secondly, India lacks testing, enough testing. I'm sure there are lots of great things available, but they're not tested. We don't really know the direction we're going to be taking. Third thing is that there needs to be a larger movement towards organic, staying away from the chemicals we've used so far. Because at the end of the day, when the soil quality also gets destroyed with excessive seeping of the chemicals, it gets impacted and creates a different issue. I was speaking with one of the scientists, an Indian origin scientist, and he was talking about how soil quality is not rewarded. What's rewarded is cheaper fertilizer, subsidy for fertilizer. It's easy to give the subsidy for fertilizers because it goes to, comes directly to the people. The factories begin producing, and so people keep selling fertilizer and they keep subsidizing. The government of India keeps subsidizing the fertilizer for you. Probably the wrong method going forward. What should be rewarded is great soil quality, which each Krishi Vigyan Kendra, which is like these small local centers, should be testing and then rewarding the farmer. I'm sorry, your quality is not good. You've not put the exact nutrients that are required. You're not going to get the subsidy if you don't deserve it. And if your quality is good, here is a subsidy for you. So certainly the wrong methods have been used. A very, very archaic way of looking at how you need to subsidize agriculture. Lastly, organizations need to come together. People need to understand that organic food is the future, and they need to continue moving in that direction. They're going to be baby steps. Today, if we are 2%, and we set a target each year, we will increase our land mass for organic produce slowly and slowly, even 2%, 1%, 10%, whatever we decide. And that's when the movement can happen. Thank you all for joining me for this show. I think it's very enlightening to see that there is a move towards organic food. And I think certainly that's the way forward. Thank you very much. Good night and good luck.